Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we have an exciting video lined up for you. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an update from our channel.
Guys, in this video, we will be learning what is reduce function in Python, why we use reduce function and how we can use reduce function in Python. What is reduce function? Reduce function in Python performs functional computation by taking a function, an iterable, that is list, tuple, dictionary, as an arguments. Okay, and the result is returned after computation. The reduce function in Python is defined in the functool module and does not return multiple values or any iterator. Okay, iterator means any list type of object. It just returns a single value as output, which is the result of the whole iterable getting reduced to only a single integer or string or boolean, right? If you see, this is the syntax of reduce function. Reduce function belongs to the functools module. The first argument in reduce is a function. This function will be applied to all the element in an iterable in a cumulative manner to compute the result. The second argument is iterable. Iterables are those Python objects that can be iterated, looped over, includes like list, tuples, sets, dictionaries. Now let's start these points. What is the first point? Reduce versus Python for loop. There is a confusion, right, between these terms, like why we are using reduce while for loop can do the same thing, right? So there is a lots of confusion. First, let's try to see the requirement for this video, right, to learn our all concepts for reduce function. The requirement is we want to add two numbers, right? Or we want to add all numbers from the list object or tuple object, right? So to fulfill this requirement, we can use either reduce or we can use for loop. So first see how we can solve this problem by using for loop. Okay. So we have, let's say, one list object. Okay. It's a very simple list. We can say 4 and 5. Three items are there. We are going to sum all these elements, right? How we can sum? So that is very simple program. If you run the program, so it will show you the output 10. So this type of things you don't need to do, right, again and again. So this is a overhead on the program, right? We don't need to do, right, every time, while we have already one function that can do the same thing, right? And it would be very efficient. It will give you the result very fast when you are going to develop your big programs, right? When you are going to deal with a large set of data, okay, like 10,000, 50,000 or 1 million records into the array or into the object, then this sort of solutions may slower the process. That is why few built-in functions defined in the library so that you can get the benefit, right? So we can now achieve the same thing with the help of reduce function. How? First step, we have to import the modules. We have to import this functool, right? And we have to import reduce. Okay, what is this? This is a function, right? We can see right here, this is a function. Okay, now the next step, what we have to do, we have to create one method, right? Def, we can say add numbers. Now the third step, we have to call the reduce function. Reduce, add numbers, and then our sequence, right? And then we have to say whatever output it will give us, please print. Run the program, so you will see it is the same output. Okay, the first output was this, that was the simple for loop, and the second output was with help of reduce function. Okay, now what is the benefit is you can do anything here in this function. Okay, if you want to say just print me, then you will be able to see the cumulative value how it is getting processed, right? you run the program again, you see first element as a 1 into the first argument, then as a second argument it is taking 4. Okay, so this is the process of this reduce functions. It always take first two number as a first argument, right? First two element as a first argument, then the result of the first two argument will be passed to the first argument for the second step, right? So you have more control over here, right? Now let's see what is our second point. We can do the same thing with help of lambda keyword. What we will do, we will remove this function and we will do the same thing, this expression in the same statement, in the same reduce statement we'll be doing that, right? How we will do, let's see. You can copy the same statement. So what it will do, it is taking two arguments, right? Then doing the addition for both the arguments and returning it. Let's run the program. So you will find the same output for this line. Okay, if we have very small type of functions, so instead of creating new function, right, we can do the same thing in the same statement, right? In the same line we can do it very easy. Okay, let's see third point, reduce function to an empty list. Suppose we are passing by mistake a empty list to the reduce function, so what will happen? Let me take empty list. Okay, now if you run the program, so it will create type error, right? You see the type error. Okay, so we have to take care this thing. We should make sure whether we are passing the iterable which is having some items, right? Otherwise it will raise exceptions. You have to handle this exception. Okay, now let's see next point, finding the minimum and maximum value. So reduce function in Python can calculate minimum and maximum values from the iterable by comparing items within the given iterable. Okay, so how it will do, so what you have to do, you have to declare two functions for minimum and for maximum value, right? So how we can create two functions, let's see. We are returning a if a is less than b, else it will return b. Very simple for minimum. The same we have to do for getting maximum value. Very simple thing. Now let me say print, and then we can say maximum value, pass our maximum value function inside, and then our list object, okay, which we are targeting. The same thing we have to do for minimum. Okay, minimum value and minimum value function we have to pass accordingly. Let's run the program. What will be the outcome? Okay, this is the empty, that's why we are getting this error. Run again. Okay, this is the problem, right? We run the program again. You see the minimum value is 1 in this array, if you see, okay, this array, and the maximum value is 5. Okay, if you put one more value, right, and then again, so you will get the output accordingly, right? Maximum value is 45 and minimum value is still the same as a 1. All right, so this is the scenario we can get the benefit from reduce function, right? Okay, now let's see our next point. What is that? That is checking if all values are true, right? So we can do the same thing for all the values are true or not. What we have to do, we have to create a function, let's say def, we are saying bool, here we are saying a Okay, or B, if this condition, either of the condition is true, it will be returning true, right? Okay, and instead of passing this L1, we can say just 1 1, right, 1, right, 0 1. So these are the boolean values we can set, right, either 0 or 1. So you run the program again. So you see any value is true because we have set many items as a 1. If you make all the items as 0, right, so it will print false. Okay, you see, if you say 1 in one of the element, then it will return true. Okay, the next point we will see check if all the values are true, right? So that was our sixth case which we covered here. Now we will see our fifth point, if all the values are true. Okay, so for all the values true, we can create one more function, right? Is all true, we can say, and then we say A and B. So if this condition is true, A and B are true, then it will return true, and all values true, we can say. So in this case it will return false, right, because we have both the values, right, true and false. Okay, so that was the previous case, but we have not changed the method, right? Now this is fine, all value true. So you will see all values are not true, okay, because we have multiple values as 0. If you put all values 1, let's say 1 1, then only it will return true because we have checked the condition over here, A and B, right? You see, now it is coming true. Now move to our next point. What is that difference between map and reduce? Okay, it's a big question. Okay, it is asked in the interview, what is the difference between map and reduce? Why we use map and why we use reduce? Okay, right? So let's see this point. After learning about reduce, right, so you might have gotten confused between reduce and map, right? The main difference between these two is that map is applied to every item of an iterable one at the time, right, and in a result an iterator is returned. Map function returns the iterator, right, not a single value. Okay, but here reduce function is returning a single value only. So this is the main difference. Okay, now it is clear. Let's see how map is worked. If you want to, let's say, get the cube for your given list, then how you can get the cube? So we'll be using, let's say, result, and then map. We will be using lambda, and then we can say x. We are going to say it's for cube, and then L1, right? This is our data source, or you can say our data source like this. Now what we'll do, we will convert the list, and then we will put our result into that, then run the program. So you will see the cube for these items, right? The cube for 2 is 8, the cube for 5 is 125, the cube for 6 is 216. You see the output, if you notice, it is returning as a iterable object, right? And this reduce is returning as a string only, right? If you see its documentation, then it will tell us, so it will return a single value, right? Okay, reduce function applies a function to the items in an iterable and reduce item to a single cumulative value, right? It is returning a single cumulative value always. Anywhere if you see, so it will always return single value. Python's reduce functions performs various common problem like addition or multiplication of numbers in iterable. So it will solve this kind of problems. Reduce function is very popular method in functional programming, even though it has been replaced by many Pythonic functions like sum, any, and min, right? So we have built in more methods like sum, any, and min. So we will cover those other built-in function method later on in other video, right? But for now, we have covered all the points related to the reduce function.
That
Okay.
brings us to the end of the today's video. We hope you found it informative and engaging. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more exciting content on all things tech related. Thanks for watching and we will see you in the next video.